He left them alone for 5 hours. When he came back, the fire was still warm. The horses were gone, and a single grave stood where his family had been. There were no screams, no blood, only a name carved into the earth. From that moment on, this man, Jefferson Hope, stopped living and began hunting. This isn't a story about escape. This is a story about a revenge that would cross continents. All night long, they fled. Through twisted mountain passes, over shattered rock paths, and through valleys where a single wrong step meant death. More than once, they lost the trail. But Jefferson Hope knew these mountains like a living map. When dawn finally broke, the world revealed itself in a terrible, stark beauty. Snow-capped peaks surrounded them like silent, watching giants. Pine trees clung to sheer cliffs as if gravity itself had forgotten them. Then, without any warning, a massive rock thundered down right beside them, its deafening roar echoing through the gorge. The mountains were watching, and they were not merciful. As the sun climbed higher, the peaks caught fire with light, glowing a deep, vibrant red, like festival lamps. For the first time since their escape began, a flicker of hope returned. They stopped by a rushing torrent of water to let their horses drink and ate a quick, meager meal. Lucy and her father, exhausted, wanted nothing more than to rest, but Jefferson Hope refused. "They are already following us," he said, his voice low and firm. "Our lives depend on speed." By nightfall, they believed they were 30 miles ahead of their pursuers. That night, beneath the shelter of a towering cliff, they slept huddled together for warmth, completely unaware that fate was already moving silently toward them. By the second day, their food was gone. Jefferson Hope, however, remained calm. He had survived far worse. He built a small fire to warm Lucy and her father, then lifted his rifle and walked into the mountains alone. For hours, there was nothing, just the wind and the endless rock, until he saw it. High above him, on a narrow, precarious ledge, stood a massive bighorn sheep, its horns coiled like thunder. He took one breath, fired one shot. The animal fell, crashing down into the valley below it. It meant food. It meant survival. It meant victory. Or so he thought. Carrying the heavy burden of meat, he turned back. And that's when he realized he was lost. In the fading light, every ravine looked the same. Every gorge led to another dead end, another mistake. Darkness fell with a suffocating speed. He was weary, burdened, but driven by a single, powerful thought. Lucy is waiting. At last, he recognized the cliffs near their camp. A wave of relief flooded him. He shouted her name once, twice. Only the cold echoes answered. He started to run, his heart pounding in his chest. The fire was still there, its ashes glowing faintly in the dark. But there were no people, no horses, nothing. The silence was absolute, unbearable. Then he saw the ground, trampled by the hooves of many horses. They had been taken, and then he saw it. A mound of fresh earth, a crude stick driven into the dirt, and on it, a piece of paper with a name. John Ferrier died August 4, 1860. But there was no second grave. Lucy was alive, and somehow that was worse. Something inside Jefferson Hope broke, and in its place, something hardened. His grief turned to iron, his sorrow turned to steel. If Lucy still lived, she was lost to him forever. That night, beside the dead ashes of their last fire, he made a solemn vow. If he could not save them, he would destroy those responsible. He followed their trail back out of the mountains, a solitary figure against the vast, unforgiving landscape. Days later, overlooking Salt Lake City, he learned the terrible truth. Lucy had been forced into marriage. Her father murdered for his defiance. When Jefferson Hope heard her name spoken, his body collapsed from exhaustion and grief, but his spirit did not break. He walked away without a word, back into the wilderness. There, something far more dangerous than any wild beast now lived. Lucy died within a month, her heart broken. But Jefferson Hope did not die. For years, he hunted. He crossed cities. He crossed nations. A ghost, a shadow, always waiting, always watching. A human bloodhound on a scent that never grew cold. Until finally, in the foggy, gaslit streets of London, he found them. And what happened next was not justice. It was not mercy. It was not forgiveness. It was something colder, something absolute, something final. But that is a story best told in another chapter. Because after years of relentless pursuit, the hunter had finally cornered his prey. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear what happened next, make sure you're subscribed.